Show of unity at last night's Dallas Cowboys-Cardinals game. America's team took a knee before the national anthem, but then stood arm in arm in a show of solidarity while the national anthem was played. The Cardinals also locked arms, showing their patriotism alongside military members. Cowboys still received boos from the crowd, and this morning the president is tweeting his displeasure. It has sparked a fierce debate about patriotism, equality, and First Amendment rights. Joining us now to get some perspective, this man's got a unique story. He's retired Rear Admiral Vic Guillory. He's a 35-year veteran of the Navy, a football fan, obviously African-American. I don't want to state the obvious, and normally I wouldn't bring that up. But in the context of this discussion, you know, I think it's important because you have a perspective because of your military background, because of your cultural background, that many people may not have. Is this as simple as that we have become so divided as a country that we are not tolerant of other views anymore and we're not willing to listen to other people?
You know, Bruce, I think that's one of the biggest concerns I've had with the events over the weekend was the fact that Americans were in some ways forced to be on one side or the other, and that there was no tolerance or really effort to have a true understanding of the other side's position. I'm sure, you know, most people will understand that my more than 3 decades of service was because I love this country, and because I love what the flag stands for, and because I will always, from a personal standpoint, stand when the national anthem is played. However, I also understand as a Black American and an informed American citizen that there is concern over recent incidents that involve police encounters and unarmed Black men being killed. I can have both concerns, and I think it's important for me to understand the feelings that are so visceral right now, and to try to contribute to a dialogue or a conversation with those around me to help us move forward.
But is there dialogue anymore? People don't want to talk. You know, and I think what's wrong with society, and I'll probably get grief for this, is that too many people just regurgitate what somebody else said, and they don't stop to think and take a number of different factors into consideration.
Well, I think you're right by that. We're comfortable hearing and being around people that sort of feeds on the side that we have either taken or been placed in. We're comfortable not having a discussion that is uncomfortable for us or may take us out of our comfort zone. We should do that. You know, I think as Americans, certainly as one veteran, I think I'm better than someone placing me in a position and sort of predicting what my response will be. Again, personally, I will stand and salute the flag anytime the national anthem is played. However, I also understand the concerns, and I think these football players are amplifying the voice the best way they know how. You know, no one's going to listen to them on Tuesday morning, but on Sunday, they have the attention of certainly those thousands of folks in the stadium, but the millions of folks watching on television.
But I don't think people understand that there are really two issues at play here. You have the initial call to try and deal with the racial injustice, which was brought about by Colin Kaepernick taking a knee. But what's happening in the NFL right now is actually to send a message to the President of the United States. Let me ask you this, because that's treading on very dangerous ground. I've spoken with some military vets who said, you know what? I personally will not take a knee in a show of protest, but I understand that this country was founded on protest. I fought for the right to free speech, so I respect their right to go ahead and be heard.
I agree with that totally, but I take it one step further. I believe that in many cases, those players that are taking a knee, those owners that are locking arms with their employees, the players, I think they love this country too. And I think their prayer is that our flag will represent the ideals and values of all Americans, and that there is no lack of patriotism on their part. And we saw various examples yesterday and Sunday of you know, staying in the locker room, coming out and taking a knee during the national anthem, and then last night, you know, doing it before the national anthem. So I'm not sure we have found the sweet spot on how this demonstration will proceed, but I don't question the patriotism on either side.
I think we need to have a healthy dose of respect for other people and other people's opinions, and then we can move forward as a nation. Admiral, thank you for your perspective.